And welcome to another episode of From My Mother's Basement, the show that basically celebrates being a geek. I'm Jason.
And I am Michael.
And, well, we'll start off as always, Michael, what have you been up to? How you been?
What I've been up to, or... Okay, so we're not doing the what are we watching?
We keep the what are watching to the end.
That's right. Actually, something really cool happened this week. Right next to our being sponsored by Disney is we're practically being sponsored by Hypno Comics, but that's mainly because Nikki works there, and it's also the best of the local comic shops, in my opinion.
It is a really cool comic shop. I enjoy going up there.
Oh yeah, it's a fun place. They did a thing this last Friday with oh god, I've got his business card here somewhere. Jeffrey, I want to say Milther or something like that. Either way, he was an associate producer on Babylon 5.
Mm-hmm.
He was also the guy inside the Kosh suit, both of them. So, and he did the voice in the whole 9 yards.
Mm.
So he did a thing where he was like clearing out a whole bunch of, because he had a whole bunch of stuff left over from when he did Bab 5, so he's clearing a lot of it out, and he did an appearance / presentation / whatever at Hypno Friday. So I went with it, and we BS'd for a while and chatted, got some cool info there. And I came home with a couple of things.
What'd you get?
How well can you see it? Hang on, let me get it on screen. Oh, wait. Yes, that's right. I have Psychor pins. Got 2 Psychor pins, and I got an Earth Force pin, and my big prize, what I'm really happy with, are these. Yeah, those
are cool patches, yeah.
The fan club put them out, but these aren't by the fan club. They're by Wardrobe. They were in the show.
Very nice.
So, yeah, big win.
That is a very nice grab, man. That's cool.
Willerth is his last name. So I got these. And I got some other stuff in there, and it was a lot of fun. It was really cool. Got to chat with him about some stuff, talk about the show a little bit. There's my Earth Dome pin. There you go. See?
Nice.
So, what's really sad is there are very few things that I will go anywhere near fanboy over.
Mm-hmm.
Bab 5 is real close. I mean, it's kind of sad when I was helping, because I was helping set up, because I like to, I help George whenever I'm over.
Right.
And I'm going through things, and George's like, "What's this?" And Jeffrey turns around, looks, and goes, "God, I don't know." I look over, like, "Oh, that's the key to the Zocalo. It was in this episode." And just went back to what I was doing. I stopped and I thought to myself, I'm like, "I'm not a throat beard. I'm not a throat beard. I'm not a throat beard." I just really know B5 well. To me, Babylon 5 is my generation Star Trek.
Okay.
Like, original series was like my dad's generation, my mom's generation.
Mm-hmm.
For me, my Star Trek was Babylon 5, if that makes sense.
No, that makes perfect sense. Just,
okay.
It's a sci-fi series that you grew up with and you were really enjoying, you really got into.
That had incredible writing. I mean, the effects were cool. It was one of the first things to use Lightwave full-time.
Mm-hmm.
And they used, New Tech stuff for all their stuff.
Mm.
But it was some of the best writing, and it kind of set the stage for a lot of the darker, more intense, story-driven properties that are out there today as far as sci-fi goes.
Mm-hmm.
It laid the groundwork for that.
And I would agree with you with that. I mean, when I was growing up, the first sci-fi theme show that I really got into was Star Trek The Next Generation. It took a while for me to go back and check out Babylon 5 and Battlestar Galactica and whatnot. And so while I enjoy Bab 5, immensely, kind of have to go with Star Trek a little over that. But I understand your reasons why you put it over Star Trek. Yeah, the thing with if you want to get, we're not going to get into a total nerd compare fest here. What are you talking about? This is From Mother's Basement. Of course we could do that.
We could do that. Where I'm making my statement based on is, okay, get the right screen up there, damn it. There we go. What I'm making my statements based on is Star Trek, whether it's original series, Next Generation, not so much. DS9, they started doing it, but that was also when Bab 5 hit. So they started going head-to-head against each other.
True, very true.
But for TOS and TNG, each story was pretty much insular. You had a couple multi-parters, but you didn't have grand overarching story arcs.
Very
you didn't
true.
have stuff that stretched the entire season or the entire run of the show.
Well, they kind of had to do that with DS9, given the fact that it was
Well, you had the
wrapped
Dominion
around a
War.
central location.
Well, it was a central location, and you had the Dominion War and everything else that came. I mean, DS9 was so funny. There were a bunch of people like, who ripped off who? You know,
I remember that, yeah.
Bab 5 steal DS9, or DS9 steal from Bab 5? For the record, Bab 5 came out first. But anyway, and they were all good friends, actually. I mean, a lot of the Star Trek people showed up on B5. A lot of the old school Star Trek people, especially. I mean, Walter Koenig was one of the big bad guys as Bester. But they didn't have where Star Trek Next Generation original series had their story arcs. You know, you had a couple multi-parters, but by and large, there were not overarching lengths. Babylon 5 had like 5 different stories going at any given time, and they'd reference stuff in one season that wouldn't come to fruition until like a season later.
Right.
They had stuff going like 5 years, one season, couple episodes, and then each episode stood on its own. I saw an interview with Straczynski once where he was talking about where if he knew where story plot was coming from, so he'd plant a seed, and you'd suddenly start seeing this character show up in the background 6, 7, 8 episodes before their story comes to the forefront. So there's a lot of plant payoff.
Going back to real quick what you stated about having like actors from the Star Trek series jump up on B5.
The original series, not much on the new one though.
I remember, I think there was a couple actors from B5 that showed up on Enterprise, but actually talking about DS9, if I remember correctly, I could be wrong, there was actually a few scenes where they had like a giant battle, you know, going on between a bunch of starships. And if you pause it and you look in there, you see some of the B5 ships in the background.
I think you're talking about Star Wreck the Perkining. I don't think that's an actual Star.
If I'm like I said, I can't remember if it was legit or not. So,
and that was okay. Going down that road, the folks who made Iron Sky, their first show was Star Wreck the Perkining.
Yes,
and it was basically what happens if the worlds of Babylon 5 and Star Trek Next Generation collide. And it was awesome.
Hey, if I'm wrong, it was Star Trek instead of DS9. I will say I'm wrong, because I'm always wrong.
There's nothing cooler than seeing, you know, Minbari warships going against Federation dreadnoughts. It's just like, wow, that was like, you know, geekgasm all over the place. It was awesome.
You know, I was expecting this episode to be focused around video games, and we're just jumping right into the sci-fi.
You asked me what I've been doing lately.
This is true. This is true.
You brought this on yourself, young man.
Yes, I know. Oh well, but shall we just jump into it?
Let's do it.
Yeah, well, this episode is going to be mostly about video games, but before we get to that stuff, we're going to talk about some other cool things we found around the net.
Yes.
Let's start off with a trailer for an upcoming movie. It's a sequel to a very funny, I guess you can call it retired spy comedy that was based off of a graphic novel.
And really well converted, actually. It
I
made
think so too, yeah.
Really well.
We're talking about Red, with Retired and Extremely Dangerous. The sequel, unoriginally titled Red 2, you get Bruce Willis coming back, you have John Malkovich coming back, you have Dame Helen Mirren coming back, the girlfriend, what the hell's the girlfriend?
I don't remember her name.
Mary Louise Parker, the actress.
Uh-huh.
Sadly, I'm sure we're not going to see Morgan Freeman in this one.
Unless they pull him out of the, you know, unless they resurrect him from the dead, you're not going to see Morgan Freeman in this one. Or do a flashback.
I will say this: they could pull it an Avengers by saying, "Well, you didn't see him die on screen."
No, you didn't. You didn't. They could retcon the shit.
All right, fine. But anyways, the sequel's coming out relatively soon, and a new trailer was recently released, and it kind of expands the cast in ways I wasn't expecting, but I think it's for the better. So,
it's got potential to be really awesome.
So let's go ahead and check this out.
I love how when she's talking to her, she's just like, "Oh, you got to enjoy life while you can." Well, she's pouring the acid over the body in the tub. I mean, it's just so casual about it all. And for those who are wondering, yes, I'm pretty sure that is the guy who played Kato in Green Hornet.
Byung-hun Lee, or forget his name. Yeah, He was also apparently in G.I. Joe Retaliation as well. So.
Yes, he was. He was one of Nikki's ninjas.
Yes. Of course, you had.
Why am I blanking on this? I have it poured into my head every day. Storm Shadow.
You also have Catherine Zeta-Jones returning to. I wouldn't even say add a love triangle or just basically a past love fling. You know.
Looking mighty fine, I might add.
And of course, the best addition, Anthony Hopkins. As a mad scientist.
I don't know that he's the best addition, but he's definitely well worth it.
I mean, okay. He's the most surprising to be added to this.
Yeah. No, I want to see what he's going to do because they're going to do something with him.
Yeah. If anything, if showing, this trailer, the first movie had a bunch of action and a nice blend of comedy. I think this one's going to take the action a little more on the slapstick side and go a little over the top, which I'm all for.
Well, it was pretty slapstick last time, if you remember.
It kind of was.
He had the pig with the gun and the thing against the rocket.
Oh, come on. The pig was awesome.
Oh, the pig was epic, but that's not the point. The point is slapstick.
Yeah, true. So I'm just hoping that it doesn't jump the shark too far. And the reason why I'm a little hesitant, a little worried about that is because the writers, or the screenwriters for this go-around, were the same people who wrote Battleship. Exactly. They're either going to repeat their past flaws, or they're going to be redeemed for their past sins.
Or their past sins may actually make them the best people to write this because they can't write a serious story.
Good point. Very good point. I mean, even the graphic novel wasn't really considered a serious,
No, I mean, it's supposed to be a dark comedy.
Yeah. I love dark comedies. They're awesome. So that's going to come out July 19th in U.S. theaters, and I cannot wait for it. Let's actually jump over to Japan for a moment. And you know how the U.S. has holidays throughout the year. As most other countries do.
Yeah, but we don't have that many, really.
Well, okay. There are
Compared
holidays.
To Europe and Japan?
Well, they all kind of smash them together. Well, at least Japan does with Golden Week.
AKA when Japan stops.
Yeah. I mean, everything just grinds to a halt. Everyone goes out, a bunch of parties, hanging out with family, friends, celebrations, fireworks, festivals. You name it, it happens during Golden Week.
And any negotiations for any convention grind to a halt for 7 days.
Good luck trying to get it.
Speaking from experience.
Oh yeah, there was a few times I had to talk to a couple guests for a con, and we got this taken care of. We had this really important meeting. Oh, we're not going to be there. What do you mean you're not going to be there? It's Golden Week.
We're going to be in Okinawa or somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. We're not even going to be near the office. We're not even in the same city.
Ah, exactly.
Yeah, so Golden Week, that's actually this week, isn't it? Is it this week or next week? I want to say it's this week.
I want to say next. It's first week of May.
Okay. Well, to celebrate Golden Week, YouTube Japan has decided to come up with a thing called the YouTube Music Week. And this is cool because it's not limited to just Japan IPs.
Fine.
What this is 10 days of live streamed concerts from some of the biggest acts in the Japan music industry. I was watching AKB48 last night. Granted, it was 2 o'clock in the morning, but I was watching it. It was a fun show. Other people.
Oh, then it is this week.
Yeah.
If they've started already, then it is this week. It's first week of May, whatever it is. So.
And there are some really good ones. Besides AKB48, I mean, Kiari Pamu, yeah, I was kind of expecting her to show up one time. But Kumikoda, Ayumi Hamasaki, Verbal, Denki Groove, Boom Boom Satellites, for crying out loud. They're all...
Yeah, that's the one you like.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm waiting for Boom Boom. They're all...
performing any of this?
What's up?
Is GAC doing anything?
I don't think GAC's doing one for this.
Wow, that's kind of
I was really surprised. Now, these are just the main people they're going to have on these streams. But there are a bunch of smaller ones, well, smaller in terms of popularity with the main public, but I think it's still pretty cool. Like, a bunch of Vocaloid producers are streaming, actually on the 4th. LiveTune is doing one. I'm trying to think.
I'm going to miss that entirely because I'm going to be doing the moment, another moment by Disney, the Gumball Rally.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah, there's a number of great concerts going on all this week. Now, because they are in Japan, they're going to start during regular Japan times. So if you're expecting to watch any of these during, say, the day here stateside, not going to happen. I mean, the earliest that I saw was AKB48, and like I said, that was 2 a.m. Pacific. So I was already up playing a game, so I was like, I'll stay up and watch it a little bit.
Which, by the way, is 6 p.m. Japan time, for those of you who are wondering.
So, yeah, you guys want to check it out. I'll put the link online, but if you want to find it during the show, just go to youtube.com and just search for a user called YouTube Japan, and I'll have all the information about it on there. Next,
don't people away from us when we're actually doing this live. Come on.
Hey, well, you know, there are times where we'll start rambling on and people go, and then move away. No.
Great.
Hey, I'm a realist here. But we try to keep things interesting.
As long as we don't turn into Kevin and Bean in total self-deprecation, we're fine.
This is true. Okay. Let's move on to, well,
Redneck
I guess it's tied into
technology?
drinking. Social drinking. You know, I'm drinking a giant cup of iced tea. Michael is drinking Coke. Sponsored by Coke now. But, you know, you talk to people and your friends and they're like, oh, we go out drinking socially. Well, one company wants to change the way you call social drinking. A really horrible company. I hate all their products. I hate Budweiser. I'm not a fan of any of their products whatsoever. They decided to make social drinking literal. They created the Buddy Cup, and to explain it, I'm just going to showcase this little video.
Digital roofies. Yes, enabling stalkers everywhere. Anheuser-Busch.
Yeah, seriously.
I mean, seriously, that's the big problem with that, is it's got no security.
No, I mean, the tech
sure,
is very...
Yeah, you can Facebook later and unfriend them, okay?
You can.
But
I mean,
if, you know, creepy stalker guy comes and goes, hi, can I have your phone number?
Click.
The woman's like, fuck you. Okay. Click. Goes and rapes your Facebook account before you have a chance to unfriend them.
Yeah, I mean...
It's an
There's
extreme
no security in it whatsoever, but then again, people aren't really thinking about security when they're drinking. I mean, it's a real... They make it at least easy to use. I mean, there's a QR code on the bottom of the cup. You take a picture of it, you scan it with your phone, you attach your Facebook profile to it, and then every time you clink a cup or, you know, clink cups together, you'll see a little LED light flash by saying, "Congratulations, you guys are now friends." I don't know. Like...
Cube and Jackson's got a question. Are you even allowed to bring your own cup into a bar? No, you're really not.
No.
But that's why the idea is you have the cup and then you QR it and you tie that one to your account. If you go to a different place with different cups, I would assume you QR that one. But cross this with the mouse ears.
You know, I would not be surprised if within a few months, you know, especially during the upcoming summer, I would not be surprised if Disney tries to do something similar to this, like with their mouse ears.
They kind of already are, only it's not going to be with the Buddy Cups. Remember, they're doing those ARPID wristband things.
Oh, that's right.
They've already done
in Walt Disney World the wristbands that act as your, not only as your pass to all the theme parks, but you can use it for your fast passes, as well as you attach a credit card to it, and you can use all your purchases by swiping or just glancing.
Not on a bet.
I mean, okay, if you're trying to make things easy for me, fine, I understand. There better be a crap load of security behind that. Even so...
Did you read what HBO just posted? Oh, man. Yeah. For those of us who are alive in the disco era, that's really scary.
I look at this and I'm like, okay, cool, technology moving forward, technology becoming more social. I understand that. The only problem is people are getting social but they're getting less secure. So, I don't know. It's just, when I see stuff like this, two things pop in my head. One, cool. Two, how can I hack it? I mean,
Yeah, definitely. The hack part's the fun part.
mm-hmm.
But
Especially when I thought that the Disney glow in the dark glow with the show ears were RF controlled, and
Yeah.
no, they're IR,
they're IR. Yeah, they're IR.
which means my little TV Be Gone blaster, that if you press it, it could fit in the underneath the bill of a cap, just sends out a massive IR blast of all these different codes. So I just press that and watch every hat around me just go nuts.
Well, it depends on if it does the right sequence. But yeah, something along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the minute somebody maps those ears,
Yeah, if they haven't already.
or the chip rather, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna. I'm trying to look past the redneck / stalker bait portion of this thing, and look past to the technology itself.
Mm-hmm.
The technology itself is pretty cool.
I mean,
The application of it with Budweiser or any other beer for that matter.
mm-hmm.
This is just, a good idea, bad idea.
Yeah.
This is a bad idea.
Yeah, this is true. I mean, the tech has been there for a while, especially QR codes. I mean, I have a QR code on my business cards, and if I'll go to companies and I'll hand them my business card, and they scan it, and it has all my information.
Yeah. I did the same thing with mine, if you remember.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so it's just the whole thing, just something about it. Just
Yeah. Oh well.
please come up with an alternate use for this technology. I'm begging you.
Let's say it's a first gen model. We'll move on from there. Let's move
Those
on.
are a few of those gens I don't think should be firsting anything. Fisting,
right.
firsting, whatever. Don't do it.
Well, moving on to some other tech news. Last week we were discussing the fact that Sony is trying to one-up Google's fiber service by offering 2 gigabit available speed in Japan in certain locations. But we were always hoping that we would get more, at least gigabit, stateside. I mean, Google is slowly but surely expanding. I mean, they just announced, Utah. And I'm sure eventually when they hit the West Coast, it's probably going to hit San Francisco first. Just hop where their data centers are at, and you'll just find where their next locations for Google Fiber will be. Many of the ISP competitors are first complaining because they think that Google's getting a better deal than they are, and two, it's kind of forcing them to try to compete by offering hopefully the same amount of speed, if not very similar speeds. Well, there's an ISP called VTEL on the East Coast in Vermont, and they have a deal that actually kind of beats Google Fiber in a sense. So they made the announcement. It's only for residents of rural Vermont that
Rural?
they say rural Vermont. That's all they say.
Okay.
They're going to get gigabit fiber. Same speeds that Google's offering, et cetera, et cetera. Starting in about
rural
2014.
area.
Yeah, I know.
That means they have to lay all that fiber.
Which makes me wonder.
Because most of those, when you start getting into like rural Vermont and rural Montana, that's satellite only territory.
That's true. Which makes me wonder. I mean, all that copper needs to be replaced. And
well, that's true. They do need to upgrade the copper. So, I mean, it could be part of that.
Yeah, right now it's only covering 500 customers. They say by the end of 2014, that number is going to rise to 17,500. So they're in the process of expanding.
Okay. So they're laying their own fiber, which is
Right.
about damn time.
And they're offering gigabit at $35 a month.
Which is not bad. Well, did you hear what? Oh God, DSL Extreme's doing now?
No, what's DSL Extreme doing?
They're basically offering their version of FiOS.
Really?
It's for $35 a month.
That's not a bad deal whatsoever.
Yeah, I was. They were talking about it on Leo's show. I was listening to him on the radio this weekend, and he did an ad, plugged an ad for him, and I'm like, wait a minute, DSL Extreme's doing 20 megabits now? What the hell?
Okay.
And oh, I'm sorry, no, it's 45. It's like 40. It's less than you pay cable.
Okay, yeah.
And I was amazed.
Yeah, That's freaking amazing. I like that. I like the fact a lot of companies are starting to offer these faster speeds at reasonable rates. Well, reasonable for stateside ISPs, I should say.
The problem is they're all reasonable rates with caps. That was another thing, by the way. On
the
offer, no caps.
Mm-hmm.
No caps, unlimited.
It kind of makes me, start questioning, should I try to keep on going down the fiber route, trying to find a place that offers fiber, or should I try to go down like the 4G route and get like a little puck? The only problem with that,
like 4G is you're over the air. Problem with 4G is you're over the air.
This is true.
If you're over the air, something can interfere with it.
This is true. And even though the prices are coming down, like surprise, surprise, I saw a commercial for Net Zero offering a 4G puck.
They're still around?
They're still around, surprising. They're still offering dial-up service, but they're now jumping into the wireless broadband market.
Interesting. I've got a Virgin. I picked up one of the. Is it an LTE? It's either a 3G or an LTE. But I've got one of the Virgin pucks, the no contract ones. And it works pretty well. I don't use it often, but I've got it. I got it like 3 months before I quit Expo.
There you go. But yeah, I think it's cool that a lot of companies are finally getting with the times and trying to offer some nice deal. I mean, I'm currently with Fios, and I have ridiculous speeds for what I use it.
What's your cap?
I haven't hit one yet.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, all this ridiculous speed is wonderful, but
if it's capped, then it means nothing.
If it's capped, then exactly.
It'll be great for the first 3 days a month.
Now, supposedly, I mean, with groups like DSL Extreme and some others that are, if they're no capping it, a Sprint, for example, truly unlimited data, everybody needs to jump on that bandwagon because, it doesn't cost them any more. It's a bit. It doesn't cost them jack. I mean, other than the fact that you have to get routed through somebody else's thing. Well,
right.
Nobody pays for that shit anyway. The whole thing of bandwidth capping and packet shaping on an ISP level is a made up issue. It's a made up first world problem.
Yeah, true. All right.
I'm not always depressed, guys. Really, I'm not even depressed now. Yeah.
Well, let's move on to some happier news.
Oh no, happy news.
Happy news.
Is this a Disney moment?
No, it's not a Disney moment.
Oh,
I think this is actually the first episode we're not talking about Disney, but I'm jinxing myself. Let's move on.
Yeah, because I already mentioned it, but go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Well, you know how, with most people, if they have laptops, they'd like to put their own stickers and customize it and whatnot. I know you have some stickers on your laptops. I have, the panty and stocking stickers on my MacBook. But you know what? I really wanted to do something a little more creative. Because everybody can just throw a sticker on it. Hell, there's some very creative stickers that incorporate the glowing Apple logo on the back.
Have you seen the Iron Man one?
Yeah, I like the Iron Man one. The Iron Man one, there is a really, Disney, there's a really cool Snow White one where she's about to eat the apple.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's some really good ones. But I want something a little, not flashier, but a little more unique. Well, there is a company in Holland called UCover. And what they do, they actually have a new method of customizing one's MacBook, lid. They use a specialized laser cutting process to basically remove the Apple logo altogether. And you can create your own design that'll be backlit with the tech that's already in the laptop itself. And they showcased a couple images. I mean, you have one here that utilizes the Apple logo in there.
So, that's pretty cool.
So all they did was, all the backlighting tech is already in the MacBook. They're just...
Right. Well, it's the same light that lights the front of the MacBook.
Right. This is not an overlay. They literally have to ship it to them. But they'll actually remove the lid.
Porn.
Yeah. Wipe it, save it, and then go... But you send it out there, they laser cut any design you want, put it all back together so it lights up really cool. It doesn't have to include the Apple logo. I mean, some people put some other designs on here.
Oh, that's cool.
I saw this one had to throw in there, the Triforce. So you can do all of this.
I'd like the Tron logo or something on that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm considering, if I have, all the money in the world, it'd be nice. I would actually consider either throwing like the OtakuLife logo on the back of it, or actually get the really cool penny and stocking stickers that I have, contact the artist, do one that has the entire cast, and then use that.
And do a negative? Yeah. That'd be kind of cool. Now, whereas a DP logo, so that'd be awesome.
Now, this by no means is cheap.
Shipping alone isn't going to be cheap.
Yeah, shipping it, I think actually comes part with the price, I think. Because the base design, just a little additions, not removing the logo, but just adding into your design, is about $300 to $350. If you want a complete custom work that takes up most of the back end, you're looking at about $1,000. Or if you want to save yourself additional shipping costs or any problems, you can just buy a brand new MacBook from them and they'll take care of it and then ship it to you. Which could be like $5,000 if you get like the really nice Retina display one.
I was going to say, if you get a fully loaded Retina, yeah. Let's be honest, which of us, if you're going to get a MacBook, wouldn't want the fully loaded Retina?
Yes, this is very true. Now, the only downside to this is people are thinking, okay, this is cool, maybe I can save up for it, but I have a PC laptop. Right now, due to the backlighting arrangement that's only on MacBooks, they're only accepting MacBooks for this design.
Well, if you've got a MacBook that's, or if you've got a PC that's LED backlit, then I could see it working. But most of your laptop backlights are the little microfluorescents.
Right, which can easily break in a situation like this. So, I mean, in the future, I'm guessing they'll actually expand to include laptops like that, but for right now, it was just MacBooks. But I think it's really cool, though.
Oh, no, it's very cool. I want to modify mine and put, like, lights in it and shit. Make it do stuff.
It'd be really cool.
Yeah.
All right. Shall we move on to the gaming stuff now that it's 5:40?
Yeah, let's edit out.
We talked about all this tech stuff. We didn't even get to the video game stuff. And we have a lot to cover.
I'd say let's drop 31.
Okay.
And
I'm going to jump into 23 right now. If we're talking about, we have a Google Doc that we have a list of all what we talk about every single week. You think we were doing this without a script?
Well, no, it's without a script. We just have script? What's that?
Yeah, exactly. But I want to talk about a game that just released.
That's right. You have video of this, don't you?
I do. A couple nights ago, we were playing WoW, and came across a notice about a new game that came out. It's a sequel to Telltale Games' Poker Night. If you guys remember that, it was essentially just a basic poker game, but the appeal of it was that they used characters from video games and comics, and people really enjoyed it. Like, you had Tycho from Penny Arcade, you had the Heavy from Team Fortress 2, who else was in the first one? Strong Bad's in it in the first one. Yeah. I forget the fourth one. Well, thankfully, Telltale Games came out with a sequel, and I'm just going to show the video and we'll talk about it afterwards. Yes, Poker Night 2, and I'm really enjoying this lineup.
Well, and it's part of me wants to know, it's like, okay, they should add more characters. You should be able to choose more characters than that. But thinking about it, and this is the punchline of all of this, it's only $5.
Yeah.
You're paying $5 for the damn game.
Yeah.
And you're getting five really cool characters in the game. So
there was Brock Samson. You had Ash from Evil Dead, which is sadly not voiced by Bruce Campbell.
No, it is not.
You have Claptrap from the Borderlands series.
And GLaDOS is the dealer.
GLaDOS is the dealer. You have Max from Sam & Max as well. And I picked this up earlier today, I should say. It's fun. It is so fun because
I'm probably going to pick it up come payday.
Yeah, the mechanics, it's poker game. They really can't mess that up, and it works well. But the reason why you want to buy a game like this is the interactions between the characters. And with the exception of Ash, all of them, all the characters are actually voiced by the original voice actors and actresses. So that's, if anything, I got it for Brock Samson and GLaDOS.
That's the reason I'm going to get it, Brock and GLaDOS. I mean,
there are a number of unlockables. Not additional characters per se that you can play in the game, but unlockable stuff in all the games that are attached to this game. So you can get unlockable.
So what they're talking about with the loot is you get loot in the game.
Yes.
That these guys represent.
Exactly.
What game does Brock represent?
Well, you don't get the in terms of Venture Brothers stuff, but you get stuff for Borderlands and Sam & Max and whatnot.
Yeah.
I also get some, of course, it has to have something to tie in with hats with Team Fortress 2. I mean, you can't have a game like this that doesn't include some sort of exclusive hat for Team Fortress 2.
I really don't get the hat.
I don't know. I played Team Fortress.
Guy who's got an R2 unit with it.
I was gonna say.
and another one with a pirate hat. So.
It kind of reminds me of the episode of the Barbie ripoff, and Lisa tries to showcase a realistic one, but the company gets rid of it by showcasing a brand new Malibu Stacy doll, but she has a different hat. That's the only difference, and people go crazy for it.
Yep.
So this is out right now. It's out on Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and on PC and Mac via Steam. So, I mean, it's $5. It is a hell of a lot of fun. You get your money's worth within the first hour.
I have that many Xbox points. I'm going to be playing poker with Brock Samson on my big screen tonight.
There you go.
Wrong.
Dude, I think the best part so far, aside from the banter between the players, is like when you start like messing up, GLaDOS starts taunting you, like hardcore taunting you, and it's amazing.
I kind of partially, when we were talking about it Friday night, I kind of partially spoiled it without meaning to, because there's that video that has a lot of her best lines on it. Did you? I mean, you're the one who provided the original link, weren't you?
I believe so. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and it's just like 15 minutes of GLaDOS just ripping your ass apart.
Speaking of games that are $5, I'm gonna jump forward in the script a little bit. There is a game that I also picked up on my iPad that I've been enjoying. All the Lego games you can get on all the consoles and PC and whatnot have been strangely addicting. Star Wars, or the Lego Star Wars trilogy, the Indiana Jones trilogy, the Batman games, the Lego version, I should state, are a hell of a lot of fun. Well, Lego Batman 2 DC Superheroes has been on a number of devices, not only PC and Mac, but also all the consoles, all the handhelds. But now that game is available for $5 as well on iOS devices. So
he says as he fires up his iPad.
It's a fun game. It includes actually 2 different control schemes, which is nice because when you try to port over a console game to a touch-only setup, you usually have problems. But because you can mix between the 2 control schemes, it's actually helpful, and it's very enjoyable regardless. It's the entire game. It looks great, especially I'm sure if you have a Retina display iPad, you can enjoy it a little more than I do because I only have an iPad 2. But yeah,
mine's an iPad 2 as well, and it works really nice. So.
It's the full game. It's enjoyable. If you enjoy any of the Lego video games, you're going to enjoy this one. If you have, an iPad, an iPhone, even an iPod Touch, pick it up online. It's on the App Store right now for $5. Now, last week in New York was actually the Tribeca Film Festival. And you think, okay, indie movies, maybe a couple of the upcoming big movies will showcase there. Okay, I can see that. Why are we talking about it? Well, because Quantic Dreams was there. They are the people behind Beyond Two Souls. So why is a video game company at a film festival? Well, because
the quality of pre-rendered cutscenes are getting better.
Yes, oh my God, yes.
But these aren't pre-rendered, are they, Jason?
No, they're not. This is why I love Quantic Dreams games. They hosted a 2-hour panel. In that, they showcased 35 minutes of in-game footage. They just threw it up on the big screen and someone was playing while they were talking about it, and it is gorgeous. No, we're not going to show that that clip here because I think
35 minutes.
It's 35 minutes long. You can find it online. It's on YouTube. Like legit on YouTube, not just a cam. But in accordance with, to tie in with this appearance of the Tribeca Film Festival, a new trailer has released for Beyond Two Souls, and it just looks stunning. So let's enjoy that, shall we? This needs to come out now. I cannot wait for this. Michael, you borrowed I think you still have my copy of that, don't you? Or
yeah, I haven't played it yet because I'm an idiot.
You need to play it. It's an amazing game, and this one just looks even better. I do like the fact that they are utilizing both Ellen Page and William Dafoe to the full extent that they can for this game.
Interesting. Looking at that trailer compared to the ones we've seen before, that was just the gameplay when she gets interviewed by the cop.
Mm-hmm.
The story is starting to make a little more sense. And it kind of has a little bit of a La Femme Nikita / Born Identity feel to it.
Kinda, yeah.
Only with a supernatural twist.
Mm-hmm. Her whole attachment to that being called Aiden?
Yeah.
Or Aiden, yeah.
Yeah, Ivan. It should be interesting to see. I'm definitely interested in the story, if nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and let's be honest, that's why I play most of the games I play. One of the reasons we spent so damn long in Old War last night was because I had to stay and listen to the damn lore from when I turned in those sigils. So I'm a story whore. What can I say? So it should be good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. It comes out in October 8th. Sorry, for the PS3. If Quantic Dream can create everything you saw in that trailer was real-time rendered. If Quantic Dream can create graphics like real-time graphics like that with the PS3, imagine what they can do with the PS4. Given the fact that the programming for the PS3, many developers claimed it's a bitch because it's all custom, whereas with the PS4, it's x86 architecture. You're programming for a basic PC game, but just on a console.
Right, but it's also an x86 architecture with appropriate
8 gigs of RAM
capabilities and memory. And that 8 gigs of RAM is system RAM, not VRAM.
Yeah.
VRAM on its own is like what, 2 gigs?
Something like that, yeah.
I mean, yeah, no, you're going to get games that look smoking when on the 4. So, except for that whole damn backwards compatibility thing. Yeah.
Well,
wait, drop the ball, Sony.
Well, jump into that real quick. I mean, the whole reason why they have to do that is partially because they could either go on the emulator route, which means you have to either throw that into the programming of the OS or throw another chip into the design, or they can just buy Gaikai and just stream it that way. Am I a fan that they bought Gaikai and using it the way they are? Not really, but
I'm not a fan of streamed games. It's too many hiccups along the way potential.
I still remember the Phantom. I still have a shirt when I went to check out the Phantom.
The Phantom, which is exactly what it was.
Yep,
because it never existed.
All the Phantom was a console version of a PC to play games and to stream them online. This is years before OnLive even had the inkling of an idea to do the same thing, and even before Gaikai was even a company. So,
and just like a real Phantom, it went away. It was never substantial. One of the original vaporwares.
Well, we'll talk about E3 stuff in just a moment, but I want to briefly bring in the fact that I'm happy that the current trend in Hollywood is to take comic books and turn them into movie franchises.
When they're done right.
When they're done right, yes. Unfortunately, you know where this is going, because if you already have the comic book medium down, and you already have contracts for comic books that may never become a movie, but we have the contract for it anyways, where are you going to go from there? you're going to move to video games. And for the most part, well, all of them basically, to this point, any video game that turned into a movie, like, sucked so hard, especially if you had one Uwe Boll attached to it.
Yeah, Tomb Raider wasn't that bad.
Yeah, it was cheesy, but then again,
it's better than I expected it to be honest with you.
Okay, I'll admit that. But I look at a lot of these other up and coming game adaptations that might be good. I mean, if you watched Anna Break last week, we showcased the trailer for the upcoming Ratchet and Clank movie, which has all the potential to be good because the writer for the games is writing the script for the movie. So,
well, it's also CG and looks like it's using up-res versions of the original assets.
Right.
So that has potential to be really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a live action. You know, if they tried to do a live action Ratchet and Clank, oh hell no.
Yeah, I think the way to go with video game movies is to go CG, and a lot of these upcoming movies
depending on the title, yeah.
Well, with the exception of Need for Speed, that's currently filming on the East Coast. That's going to be, hey guys, we're going to take advantage of the Fast and Furious.
I was going to say it's Fast and Furious with a game tie-in.
Exactly, that's all it's going to be.
And no Vin Diesel.
This is true. But Blockade Entertainment, the people who are working on the Ratchet and Clank movie, are also working on a CG movie based on, if you guys remember this game, when the PS3 was first announced, Heavenly Sword.
Which is a game that didn't do that well, even though it was the highlight child of the capabilities of the machine graphically.
At the time, yes.
Yeah, it was a launch title. I mean,
I look at
it was the best.
I mean, it was essentially Sony trying to say, hey, we can do God of War without God of War.
We can do God of War with boobs and red hair.
Yeah, true.
And it's not Red Sonja.
Wow, yeah. But I find it really odd that Sony approved a movie based on this game when, one, it didn't sell well. Two, there's been no mention of a sequel. Out of the blue, they decided to resurrect this franchise.
My guess is somebody came to them. I mean, I've been looking. I haven't seen any details as to how they came to the decision.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, odds are somebody came to them and said, "Hey, we want to do this. We want to do it CG. We just need you guys to sign off on the licensing script."
Okay.
You know, and if somebody walks up and says, you know, and basically says, you know, we're not expecting any money out of you for this, or something like that. You know, you make it that easy for them.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe Sony's looking for an excuse to bring back Heavenly Sword, because visually it was a beautiful game, and there was some great story in there, especially with her and the sister, the retarded sister.
Oh yes.
I mean, it was Heartstring City. But I mean, as long as we don't end up with the Blood Rain movies, it should be okay. Have you seen the non-Uwe Boll Blood Rain movies? They're not any better. In fact, they're actually worse.
That's funny.
Blood Rain versus the Nazis. It's making its round on the various movie channels.
I mean, there's also the Street Fighter Chun-Li movie, Dead or Alive.
Dead or Alive was fun, though.
Dead or Alive was cheesy as all hell. Come on.
Yeah, but it was fun.
Yeah,
and it had
okay.
Hill from Sin City in it. I mean,
true.
Can't knock that.
What was it? Some other games are actually going to be getting the different
Blood
adaptation
Omen should be a
treatment.
movie.
But apparently at the annual EVE Online Fan Fest, company CCP made the announcement that they're hosting this contest right now where you can enter in your own stories that are based in the EVE universe. You have 9 days left from today to actually submit your own stories. Winners will actually be turned into either a comic that will be published by Dark Horse Comics, or B, used as a basis for an upcoming EVE Online TV series. EVE Online out of the blue is gonna go the Babylon 5 route.
EVE Online is freaking. I mean, it's pretty. Don't get me wrong, but unless you're an economics wizard, you're not gonna do shit in EVE Online. It's all number crunching and micromanaging and min-maxing.
Well,
I mean,
yes,
there's no
and then
actual quote-unquote gameplay that I've seen. I mean, I know a lot of people who are heavily addicted to it,
right.
and it's all flow charts and numbers. And it's like, that's not a game. I get that shit in my life.
Yeah, there is a crap load of accounting stuff that has to do with in the game that I've played enough to understand. It's when you get past all that, you get some pretty epic battles, like things.
Oh
that
yeah,
will
the space
have,
battles are epic.
Yeah, you have thousands upon thousands of ships, fighting each other. But the most of it, you're right. It is a matter of just accounting.
So what's the percentage of space flight doing stuff?
15% of your game time.
If that, yeah. Spice and Wolf in Space. Actually, I think even better than Spice and Wolf in Space is oh god, what's that movie with the money?
See?
Yeah, C.
Mm-hmm.
It's a combination of Spice and Wolf in Space or C in it's C in space.
Yeah, I could see that. But yeah, they're gonna make a TV series out of it. I'm like, how? Comic I can kind of understand, especially because they're expanding the franchise to include Dust 514, which is a console expansion of the EVE online universe to be more of like a first-person shooter squad, or a squad-based shooter, I should state. Mm-hmm. There's also this World of Darkness thing that I haven't really looked into much.
Oh, they're gonna tie into World of Darkness, as in the RPG games.
I heard something about World of Darkness doing something similar. So
okay, because World of Darkness are the guys who made Vampire the Masquerade,
mm-hmm.
Werewolf the Quickening, all those, Dark World, whatever areas.
Yeah.
Wow, that could be interesting. Because there's one World of Darkness game that came out. There was the Vampire, like the first game to use the Source engine before Source Half-Life came out.
Mm-hmm.
Was the Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, which was a fantastic game.
Right.
I loved that game. So it'd be nice to see them put something out again.
Well,
we just tangented again.
Well,
CCP.
I mean, CCP is working on, like I said, all the EVE games, Dust 514, World of Darkness. So the fact that they're making a comic and a TV series, they got their hands full. So I'm sure we'll be receiving a bunch of information as we get closer to E3.
Do you think Take 3? Do you think they're following Defiance?
They might.
Because that's actually surprisingly decent.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, it's not. Oh my God!
I was going to talk about that during the what we're watching, because I finally got around to watching Defiance. But
mm-hmm. Well, we can talk about it because I've seen it, so we can have an intelligent conversation about it.
Well, let's wrap up real quick with the E3 news, and then we'll get into that.
Okay.
E3 may be a little smaller this year, just because of a bunch of recent news. Some smaller companies, 2K Games, they made the announcement they're not attending E3. They're not even going to host meetings. Take-Two Interactive, they made the announcement they're not going to host anything on the show floor, but they're going to host private meetings. Okay, so a little smaller space in terms of...
Yeah, but Take-Two and 2K shared space with EA, didn't they?
I don't remember if they did or not.
I mean, they didn't have dedicated large booth space at the last E3s.
True. I mean, but they have several games that are coming out. There's a wrestling WWE game, the more Borderlands 2 content, Civilization 5, more XCOM games. I mean, they have a bunch of stuff coming out. For them not to have anything on the floor to showcase that's kind of surprising.
Right.
The big news was actually from Nintendo. Usually when you go to E3, you go for two things. One, the E3 show floor, which is just awesome and amazing. And two is the big press conferences from the big three: Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo. That's not going to be the case this year. Nintendo made the announcement just a few days ago that they're not going to host a massive press conference this year.
I don't think they need to, though.
Well, because they've been hosting the Nintendo Direct streams, once every quarter.
Well, that coupled with their next gen machines already out.
Yeah, true.
They beat everybody to the punch with the Wii U.
Mm-hmm. Now they say they're going to showcase two smaller events, one to focus on media partners and their upcoming games for their console, the Wii U, and then of course they'll have another one specified for their mobile market. So just smaller ones that they'll probably stream online, but no massive fanfare. Like you said, it's probably to be expected because of the fact they don't have a console or anything major to announce. They just have games that they can only announce at this point now.
Right. Well, and that really hasn't stopped them in the past. I mean, there were a few years where they did that, but if they don't, maybe they don't have any quote unquote AAA titles coming out. I mean, I know they're working on a Zelda at some point, but maybe it's not ready to announce.
I look at it as, I think it's their way of looking at what the competition is bringing, because this E3 is not going to showcase not only just one, but two brand new consoles, whatever the Xbox is going to be called, and the PS4. So in trying to compete with that in terms of media coverage, you're not really going to be able to do so. So if you just focus on the games and do direct streams to the gamers who can't make it to E3, which is the majority, I think that's probably the better route to go. Because Microsoft and Sony are going to throw crap loads of money at E3 this year.
Oh, well, I don't know about that. Because there's, E3 in general, like someone said in the chat room, it's been trying like hell to die.
This is true. Remember they're changed to a Santa Monica for 1 year? Oh, yeah. That was no booth babes? Pathetic. And the show floor was literally, you have a table, all the tables looked exactly the same. They all had the same size, like two screens. They had a little 8.5 by 11 showcasing what's about the game and a controller. And that's all you had.
2 words, Artist Alley. That's effectively what the Santa Monica was.
Yeah.
Artist Alley with meeting rooms. It's... Yeah, no. E3, well, also there's been some decent, by decent I mean decent size, there's been some pretty serious hits to gaming journalism of late.
True.
I mean, X-Play's off the air.
Yeah, Adam Sessler's now over with
Sessler's with Rev 3 games, which is good because that means there's gonna be some quality shit coming out of Rev 3 games.
Which I think will combine. Well, I can't even say IGN anymore because yes, they're still around, but they were just bought by another company, so they're in the midst of
again.
Yeah.
IGN can't stay home anywhere for more than 2 years.
No. You have Spike TV teamed up with Jeff Kingley, I think his name is, to do their hosting of random stuff every year. They'll probably do stuff. That'll be the only TV coverage you'll probably get for E3. Everything else will be online. I think the big one will probably be Kotaku, Joystick, and Rev 3 Games.
Well, and Twit's probably going to have somebody there. I'd be shocked if they didn't.
They've been talking about that for a while, like sending the NSFW team to...
And who better to send?
That's true.
It's
of course you can get the whole... Go ahead.
Now that Tech TV's off the air, or not Tech TV, G4's, very about to become Esquire.
Which should have happened, but they delayed. That was the funny thing. Tangenting, I know. They were on the 25th. They were supposed to transfer over to Esquire Network. And they made the announcement last week stating, we're just not ready, so we're going to push everything back 6 months. We're still going to be G4. We're just not going to show anything new for the next 6 months. It's a dead channel.
Yeah, it's a dead channel. Yeah, it's living in syndication hell.
Yeah.
Which is, of course, no comfort to any of our friends who work there,
No.
Yeah. She's
As Salmon Food says in the chat, we're not ready. So more Cop reruns.
Cops, they're rerunning X-Play, they're rerunning Bond movies. I mean, people like that doesn't help people like Courtney who are still out of work.
Yeah, true.
It's like you took their job away, guys. Come on.
It's NBC Universal. What are you going to expect from them?
Yeah.
So yeah, E3 will be interesting in terms of coverage this year. I know Nintendo, even though they're not going to make a major press conference, they still rented out Nokia Theater, so they're going to show something.
Oh yeah, totally.
Which makes me wonder.
Yeah, you don't spend $250,000 on nothing.
Yeah.
I know how much Nokia Theater costs. You don't spend $250,000 on nothing.
This is true.
That's just for facility, by the way.
You still have Microsoft. I'm guessing they'll probably take the Galen Theater at USC like they did last year. Sony will have something at their Sony studios because they're why pay for somewhere else when you own the property?
That's true. But what about Wiltern?
The Wiltern Theater has been picked up, I think. Well, last year was EA.
Yeah,
I think. I think the major press conference that I'm looking forward to this year is not BioWare. Who's putting out Watch Dogs? I forget.
Oh, not Naughty Dog. I know who you're talking about, but yeah.
Yeah, they had a really good press conference last year, and I think they're just going to grow from there for this year. So.
I hope so. I really do.
Yeah. So, yeah, E3's coming up. We'll find out what's going on.
Is it Naughty Dog?
It could be. It could be.
No, now I'm going to go look that crap up. so start telling me what you're watching while I'm looking that crap up.
Okay, yeah, we'll end with what we're watching. For starters, I finally got around and started watching Defiance. And this is actually the first on-air series that I think I'm going to start following, aside from, like, you know, Doctor Who.
Ubisoft.
It was Ubisoft. Okay, thank you. Yeah, Ubisoft Montreal, I think, was the main company that worked on Watch Dogs. But yeah, I started watching Defiance, and I'm actually really getting into it. I actually like the premise. It's well written. I like the story.
Have they aired Ep 2 yet? Because
yes, they have.
I've been able to find reruns of Ep 1.
They have shown Ep 2. Ep 3 is next week, or I think Monday, I think. And I'm enjoying it. Now, they're pushing this whole play the game, their MMO game, alongside the series while you watch it.
I want to try the game, but I don't want to spend $60 to do it.
I mean, they're going the Guild Wars 2 route in the sense that you only pay for the game up front, either $60 for the regular version or $100 for the limited edition. But there's no month-to-month subscription.
Microtransaction.
Yeah, and the thing is, I'm not willing to pay $60 to go check out a game that I might not like. I mean, I'm already hooked on 2 MMOs, eventually a third.
That third's your own damn fault.
Yeah, well, you know. I got into the beta and I can't talk about it from there. And it's awesome.
I'm so pissed that you did and I didn't.
Yeah, I know. But I mean,
because I wasn't the original.
Yeah, I look at it as Defiance, the series is going to be fun. The video game...
The thing is, the show is kind of... I know they're still in the introducing all the characters phase. So...
They're still working on introducing all the species.
Oh, yeah, they're introducing all the species phase. You know, they got 8 races they have to explain. But, well, 7, because we already know what humans are. But... I like it. I want to see where it's going to go. I'm really impressed with who's in it. I mean, I forget the name of the race, but or the name of the guys even. But the white-haired people.
Yes.
The main guy for them is played by the same guy who played Lucian in the Underworld series. So it's an Irish actor. I mean. And he's a redhead and everything. I'm wow, you know, he's cool. The woman, it shocks me even more because the girl playing the woman playing his wife, is the chick who played H.G. Wells on Warehouse 13. Who, I'm not trying to say it was quite hot. So I mean, they're getting a lot of interesting actors on this show. I want to see where it's going to go, and the whole thing, without going too spoilerific, what's going on with the old mare?
No idea.
She after?
No idea. Something has to happen soon.
Yeah. So yeah, no, it's a great show. I want to watch more of it. I want to play the game, but I don't want to pay. I don't want to shell out $60 to do so.
True.
It's not that interesting to me. But it is San Francisco, so
yeah,
pretty cool.
Other than that, I've been trying to catch up on all the new anime that's recently started, and I still gotta say, Flowers of Evil is still amazing. Still loving that. Same with Attack on Titan. There's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of cheesy stuff out this season that I'm sitting there watching it going, "Aw, must watch something manly in a moment." It's a give and take. I can watch it's gonna make me sound horrible. I can watch a very cheesy, romantic comedy, slice of life high school series, and I'm like, I need to turn around and watch something. I need to watch people getting dismembered or
I need blood and guts now.
blood and guts. There's a very psychologically scarring rape scene in Flowers of Evil that I talked about last week. That series is getting so dark, and I'm loving every moment of it.
I'm not surprised. I'm sorry. I'm not surprised.
I'm a horrible person, I know.
Well, I'm just gonna go there, but
the art style is takes a little getting used to, being it all.
Is it jarring?
When you watch all these other series with the standard anime production style, and then you look at Flowers of Evil, which is so striking in its.
Is it like panty and stocking difference?
No.
Or level of difference, rather?
Like, I've shown this series to other people, and they're like, "This is an anime."
Oh, really?
Whereas because they look at the style because it's all rotoscoped.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
When they look at panty and stocking, I'm like, okay, it's chibi anime.
Wow.
Some people don't even call it anime. It still is. It actually is. So.
Yeah, it's done in Japan, therefore it's anime.
Yeah.
But interesting. I'll have to take a look at it.
Yeah, watch like the first episode. Nothing really truly crazy happens there, but you get the feel of something's gonna happen really bad.
Okay.
So
you have 150 eggs waiting for you in.
Oh, jeez. In the Simpsons. Okay.
Yes, we are addicted to the Simpsons game.
Yes. All right, Michael. What have you been watching?
I watched Defiance. I liked it very much. I want to see more. I also watched a little bit of, and I don't think I could watch it again without my brain exploding. Sci-Fi's got a new series because paranormal shows are the shit right now.
Mm-hmm.
So they got Ghost Hunters, they've got Haunted Collector. I actually kind of like Haunted Collector, although I think they stage half the crap that happens in it. But but I don't care because it's still fun. But there's another one called Deep South Paranormal.
What?
It's redneck, inbred ghost hunters.
Honey Boo Boo goes ghost hunting.
Hilarious to watch the show. Oh my god! One guy's talking about how our ghost hunter's going off like a deer in rutting season, and I'm just like, did he seriously just say that? Oh my god! I watched 15 minutes of this, and I'm just like, my brain's gonna explode. I have to turn the channel.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't stand stuff like that.
Oh my god, inbred Jed's doing paranormal
stuff. And the sad thing is, those people are making more money than you and I ever will.
Oh hell yeah, they're probably pulling down $100,000 a year from it. But oh man, that was so funny. You have to watch it just once. I don't care which episode. Pick an episode, watch one episode of that.
One episode,
and you will just die.
All right,
it's hilarious. Let's see. Other than that, I'm still trying to catch up on Justice League because I've been really busy with work, so I haven't been able to watch a lot of it. And then my parents
got all that anime I was loaning you as well. You got to watch that.
Oh yeah, I'm still behind on that. That's really about it for me. I've been doing a lot of WoW stuff. Yeah, so there you go.
No worries. All right, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap this up then. It's been a little bit of a long episode, but you know what? We covered a lot of cool stuff. And
give the email address.
Email? We haven't done emails in forever. I mean, we have our Twitter.
We're not gonna if they don't give out the email address, we're never gonna do emails now, are we?
Good point. Okay, fine. Well, you can follow us, on OtakuLife Jason and Digital Panther on Twitter. You can also send us an email at info@frommothersbasement.com if you have any suggestions for stuff we can talk about. Ideas for our whenever we get to it vaporware review show. A number of things we're working on.
The vapor is coalescing. It's actually getting thicker. And we're still working on the game stream show too. So
we are. So lots of stuff to come up in the future. But I just thank you guys so much for joining us. So
thank you very much.
For From Our Mother's Basement, I'm Jason.
And I am Michael.
And we'll see you guys next week. Take it easy, everybody.